RFM 5 minutes to 12, as I say, we're going to interview Antonette Haughton on the program. Yes, long time we know Antonette from school days. Yes. We're going to bring back those school days to and find out what she intends to do in her newfound attitude. Yes. Most one know her from radio. Yes. Most one know her from being a lawyer. I man know her from school. Understand? Yes. I man know her a good while, and she has developed, progressed. Yes, I think she find her calling now. So we're going to hear how she going on with this calling. You understand? So operator, work it out. Make her work it out here. Yell up Antonette.
Yes, Muta, I'm here.
I think the guy leave me.
No, man, we got cut off.
Okay, all right. What you doing, mama?
Fine, my brother.
Right, long time I don't really talk to you, know.
It's true.
Must about 30 years I don't talk to you. Eh? Really talk to you. Look like you find your calling now.
You think?
Eh? No, I ask you if you think you find your calling now.
I think I find the most dangerous amount of work I've ever chosen in my whole life.
Why you think it's harder than the attorney work?
Of course.
It's harder?
Yeah, punishing work.
So, all right, so tell me something. How long you do the attorney work? How long you have been attorney?
Since 1979. 22 years.
22 years?
Yes, Muta, you're old enough.
Here I know. Are you old? You tell me old. Are you old? Well, I remember when you used to have when they used to call it Angela Davis Afro. And everybody wanted to look like Angela Davis. But then when them see Antonette, everybody wanted to look like Antonette. Because Antonette always won all of the debates over the plate. I don't know if you remember those days.
Oh, of course.
Yes. Which school you used to go again? Excelsior?
Yes, went to St. Jude's and then Excelsior.
Then Excelsior, all right. I remember the days out of Crossroad too.
Yes, the library. The library.
All right. So Antonette graduated from school and got turned attorney.
Yes.
And has been pursuing that for how much years you say?
22.
22 years. And then we hear Antonette on the radio. Oh, you made the transition, or it was not transition?
It wasn't really. They just asked me to do it, and I just felt really comfortable doing that.
And then we see Antonette, after making this transition to radio, become one of the #1 ladies in Jamaica, according to polls and this and this and that. And now we hear that Antonette now is looking to become the Prime Minister, the first female Prime Minister of Jamaica.
But you know, Muta, you did promise me that you'd be on this with me, you know.
And what?
Why you don't tell the brothers that when we were very young?
Yes.
We spoke about this process.
You just tell me, say me get old, you know. We don't remember.
I did my own, you know.
Yeah. Me have my calling still. I go back to my calling, but I mean, I don't know. Maybe I will join you in the coming times. I don't know.
Well, that's the point.
Maybe by the time you don't talk here, I will think about it too.
But of course, because you will find that not that much has changed in terms of, I think, what we want, what we have always wanted.
Yeah. So why Antonette feel at this time that it's necessary for even start a party? Because we hear party come and Jamaica seem to be stuck in two parties. You know, and none of them now make a dance. So we want to know why Antonette feels that she can't make the people them dance.
Well, maybe the first thing I can tell you is the people put this in my head in recent times.
Mm-hmm.
For about 5 years, people have been saying this to me on the radio.
And you listen to them?
Oh. That was that the voice of the people is the voice of God.
I will be with the people that now listen. All right, right?
But on a serious note, you know, Muta, there is a kind of horrible moral decay that sees this country.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of lost, our people who have lost their center. Not the people, you know, but a lot of what is happening is about a fallout away from what is good and what is right. And I kind of believe that, you know, this path can lead us somewhere. But, I mean, above all else, it's clear that neither of the two political parties can unify the nation. Also clear that unless we can unify this nation, we can never be all that we can possibly be.
Yeah.
And I just felt the time come to stop talking and to say to people, listen to me. It's either we're going to end up possibly like Monrovia in Liberia, where people got so angry that they burnt out the infrastructure of that country and put Liberia in terms of infrastructure back 40, 50 years. And last time I checked, Liberia had about 300 telephones. Because, and I felt that if you have constitutional alternatives, the capacity to create genuine constitutional alternatives, to say to our people, gosh, we don't have to destroy our workplaces and burn on our infrastructure to change the quality of our lives. Let us begin together to create a alternative even within this constitutional framework that can say to people, let us use this democratic process and get a real change.
You mentioned the Constitution. You feel that this Constitution can offer that change, or you feel that there have to be some form of change to the Constitution to make the change where you feel you can make?
You see, the thing is, I believe that what we have is sufficient to work with to create that alternative. But it is clear that we need constitutional change. Even being in this process has strengthened my view that we need constitutional change. But I believe we have sufficient. One, the people's right to vote. Two, our capacity to create independent political vehicles. You know, and if we can create alternative constitutional vehicles like political parties, change the nature of governance, then with the people, you can then take the second step, which is to create genuine constitutional change. Because it's obvious that Jamaica needs genuine constitutional change.
Definitely.
And I think that there is enough motor.
Yeah.
We can form a political party. We can go to the electorate. Of course, the problem is there's a huge dollar sign on doing that.
All right.
So it's free, you can do it, but it's kind of like if you don't have the money to sell your ideas, you're hamstrung. But nevertheless, there is enough room there that if all people buy into it, we can begin to change our world.
Well, I am reading the papers and I am hearing that Antonette Party is getting a lot of support from middle-class women.
From all kinds of
who
women.
Maybe can bend them husband hand to get some money from them. Or you see that?
You have never thought of it like that?
Well, I guess something to think, but maybe never. Because them say behind every good man is a good is a woman, and maybe the middle class support, according to what them say, from the women is there. I know you read it too.
Yeah.
You know, it's like maybe some bending hand can be if you can really play a card right and influence ladies them, you know.
Well, I believe that I don't see myself ever being able to get the support of big business. All right? I don't think that that's real in Jamaica with how big business is configured. But there are a lot of people who have started from small and have built something and would like to see our nation more inclusive, with more opportunities for more people who are where they were when they started.
Yeah.
Those are the brothers and sisters I'm hoping to buy into giving some financial support to this party.
All right. We realize politics is really a corrupt thing in Jamaica, and people are really skeptical of political parties. And furthermore, the government in power right now is not elected by the majority of people, but the majority of people who vote, which is not really the majority of people.
I agree with you.
All right. So we are saying now, based upon how the politics running in Jamaica, gun have to involve, corruption have to involve, to reach that powerful, you know, them say power corrupt, but absolute power corrupt, absolutely.
Yeah,
Antonette has a little daughter now, you know, she there and she look nice and thing, and she may be well versed and she's outspoken and thing, but you don't think it need more than where you personally feel it need right now to really reach that stage the way you can say, yes, you're then near the power plate, the power ball.
You know, Muta, now this is where we go to a whole other thing called faith. And the gods of our ancestors. And our God that's in all of us. You know? God, the power of what is good. Spirit of good in earth. If we call upon the spirit of good in the hearts of our people and in the universe, there is absolutely nothing that can stop you, I believe, if you work hard enough. And it's because we have been so, I think, Western, I don't know if Western is quite, we sort of live in a godless culture, because quite frankly, this whole Western cultural tendency is quite godless, although they speak about God every day.
With so much church in the country, are you saying we're godless?
I don't mean like that. I mean the culture.
Yes.
People have a notion that they're only logic. Things things can only happen in what are apparent logical ways. I mean, there's no way I'm supposed to be able to win this. 1, 2, 3, I don't have no gun, and I don't intend to get none, because anything you build on the murder of your own people can achieve nothing.
So you feel that's why the NDM crumble?
No, I believe that I don't like to, Muta, I don't even like to go there and talk about other people and what I think.
No, but you see, you're not the game, I know. You see,
I'm going to...
The NDM crumble. You have to say the NDM crumble. It crumble.
Yeah, but Muta, for me, I prefer to come to the process without the powerful tearing criticism of others.
Yeah.
I prefer to come to the process talking about what we can do. Or how we can change our...
Yeah, but we don't reach this yet, because we have the whole night to talk.
Yeah,
but we just try develop this.
From where I sit, just maybe, as a political scientist, trying to analyze what happened. And I did a degree in political science, remember? That was my first discipline.
Yes.
Maybe I think they built a lot through the media, but not enough underground eyeballing our people and talking to them.
Yeah, but people
I don't think they took on the issues of the poor.
Yeah.
Because it's not fashionable anymore to talk about the disgraceful conditions under which some of our people live.
So you don't feel that your first promotion came through the media too because of your radio program that helped?
But you can't build a party in the media.
Sure.
You understand what I'm saying? That's a different thing. You can't build a party. The only way you're going to build something, you have to build it on the ground, Muta. You have to go to our people. You have to talk with our people. You have to eyeball. You have to make them touch your feel, you see if you're real to them.
Yes.
So that I suspect, because I wasn't in it, that was the weakness and the fact that I don't think enough work was done eyeballing our people on the ground. And the fact that it walks with a bit of an old energy, old political energy, also prevented it from doing some of the things that it could do.
All right, people are saying NDM is to JLP what your party is to PNP. Or you see that?
That's a bit ridiculous, in the sense that there's nobody in my party.
But you hear it though, you hear that though.
Yes, man. But you know the propaganda. You must expect mass propaganda, especially when you're doing better than people probably thought you could.
So why them should have said no go so? Why you tell me and tell the public why them should have said no?
Well, I mean, I think it's clear. There are people who might support one thing or the other. For example, I supported Michael Manley.
Yes.
And I say so without fear.
Maybe that's why them the chase on.
Right. Michael Manley represented a struggle for manhood, for ordinary poor black people in this country, for manhood and womanhood. And I supported Michael Manley, but nobody in our party has ever held political office or been part of any government. So you supported something at one stage and that makes you a breaker. That's nonsense. It means that I would not have had to, at my age, never have participated in the political process at all, which would be ridiculous. So that, you know, we're not a break-off from anything. We're never part. I mean, I never held an office. Never ran for office. Never represented them. Yeah,
but that don't mean that the sentiments and the favor.
Well, I don't think the sentiments of Michael Manley are represented by today's PNP. Let me put it on the table. There are members inside PNP who might love the sentiments of Michael Manley, but the leadership and the control of the PNP today does not represent Michael Manley's dream. Okay. Parties change.
So what was Michael Manley's dream? And what, in terms of Michael Manley's dream, when you say you could have taken from that period into this time now and make it work?
Well, not in terms of how you do business, but in terms of the results you would like. For example, you would like to see ordinary people empowered. You would like to see ordinary people educated. Gosh, you know, you would like to make part of the centerpiece of what you want. And education of our people. I don't mean just education and book learning. I mean building self-esteem.
All right, you see, we as Rasta now, we have a problem with this term when one say education, you know, because we see that a lot of these people is educated.
That's the point I'm making. I was just about to go to that point. Because I'm in your, on that. Because I find that a lot of so-called educated people have failed our people. So that I'm talking about education into self-love. Education with values of family, of respect. You know, of raising your children. Of understanding that your children carry on. We stand on the shoulders of our ancestors.
So what is the formula you're going to use? Because you see, we have seen that them use the Westminster formula. We see some man bring over some communist formula. We see them use the Christian formula. And we don't see none of them at work. What is Antonette going to do different to make these values work practically?
I think we need to look at our heroes and our history.
All right.
Who we are.
Yes.
What you're going to build is going to be based on who we are. We are an amazing people, Muta. We are the people who produce a team who win 2 gold medals in a sport. That speaks to who we are. Right now, Jamaica hold the world record in diving the deepest without oxygen. Second in surfing. Third in the World Games about 3 years ago. We are an amazing people. We are a great people. Represented by Marcus Mosiah Garvey.
Okay.
That man from St. Anne, who had vision of all that we could be through self-help. And I think that what you build is based on one. Who our heroes were. Jamaican people are the kind of people, you know, the two youth, they used to call them father and son. He's lost a leg from Barbican, and what them do is hook up and dance. So them turn a disability into a possibility and into money. And so what we have to do is to work with the energies of our people. Think about it. I think of, you know, what's his name? Let My People Go. Albert Lisuli. There's a book. One of the founding fathers of the ANC. Let My People Go. In a way, Jamaican people need to be let go. We need to see what our people can do and use that to develop our capacities. I mean, you still can use long on a bicycle and start wheeling and do the most amazing things that Americans, for example, in America, they can turn into big dollars. And so what we need to do is to sit down. You have you to stand up a road corner and give a joke, Muta, and you want to pass out laughing. And you said to yourself, supposing instead of a stand-up comedian club, to make them you just come in and start to maybe even earn a living, right, among our own people with this business of amusement. I believe and I know that our people themselves have tremendous ideas about how they can make a decent living using their own talent.
We're not short of ideas at all.
And what you need now is a process that fosters and facilitates and respects that capacity. That you don't set it up and want to do everything because you know everything. It don't work like that. I call it big ears government. Government with big ears. That listens to our people and feel our people and know what their capacities are. That call upon all of us to work together. To build. I mean, Jamaica can be a truly prosperous little country, you know, Muta. I mean, if we can all see organic farming enough Rastaman do that. From that time. Natural food. It's coming to me like Jamaica was talking about natural food when we are youth.
We see them used to laugh after Rasta with it.
Thank you. And the pesticide. Let us use herbs and spices. Follow me. Let us use ginger and that kind of thing. And the world has gone there. You realize that the world has reached where it was that we as young people used to talk about?
It was all the while.
Thank you.
All right, look, you know, you see, all right, what we are saying, guys, things where we really agree with in terms of, you know, get natural, this and that, but, you know, we hear a thing, a creeping away in our vocabulary named globalization. Where it is very difficult to not be a part of this globalization. And we see that countries who don't toe the line is seen as outcasts. You know, we say, for instance, our neighbor over there is named Castro. Even for 30 years, I'm back with him country, but him still have got through very moderately in him vibes, and it's certain things that work, much more than what I work in Jamaica. All right, now. We are saying, our next government will come now, and we see Michael Manley try certain things, and them hold him neck and ring it round, and him have to come round back to the whole foolishness. All right. Antonette come as a female, and we know the world stay against female and thing, you know. I mean, why Antonette feels she can be a part of this thing, but not be a part of it?
All right. I think that the first thing we need to do is to look at our ancestors' struggle and learn. We need to look at how Michael dealt with it and to ourselves become more creative. I think that we need to use brain and erudition and intense preparation to deal with this world, because it's a new kind of colonialism. All right? It's a control by money. Right? No, this is why this form of export agriculture, which is natural food, you go to the top of the export market in the world. you begin to, within the system, find a niche that works for you. That's one. Two, I believe that you approach this business of globalization like our lawyer defending clients. Simply finding every possible loophole in the rule to support your nation. You see this law the government just passed to protect our farmers? They could have passed that several years ago. All right?
Yeah.
But when you have an approach, the approach of a colonial, which is that you're afraid of even vaguely offending your master.
Yeah, to rock the board. You're afraid to rock the board.
That's the point.
Yeah.
But the fact is that even these rules, WTO rules, have many, many things in there that we can use to work for us. You know, for example, there are phytosanitary rules. If when they had E. coli bacteria in the United States, we could have refused to import American beef, you know, legally under the WTO rules, phytosanitary rules.
Yes.
Just what they did with our chicken.
But them not just take out the banana for the beef them again from Europe.
Yes. It's that kind of thing. But the fact that they take off the ban don't mean that we can't say as a nation we don't trust the situation because it offers too great a threat to our people, and in that way begin to close our market from foreign imported meat, for example. There are ways to do that within the WTO rule. But what you have got to be is to use the erudition of our people to be absolutely prepared. You can't blunder into these things. And it's not about ideology anymore in the sense that you don't go and argue an ideological argument because it don't mean nothing to these guys. What you go and say, look here, you've made rules. The rule number 5.3 says that if this is the situation, I am entitled to do that. So you have to become an advocate for your country. But secondly, Muta, we have also got to begin to do what happened during my time, which is to begin to create a unity among poor countries. Because you know what they do in WTO, Muta? They have several committee meetings going on at the same time. Right?
Yes.
No way countries like ours can sit in every meeting. We don't have the person.
No, we don't have the amount of people. Yes.
So what you really need is to wheel together a lot of Africa and the Caribbean and other such nations so that we have a common position and we can represent each other on these various committees. We need to now begin to catalyze as a people who have a common interest. And you've got to begin to create that kind of unity among poor nations.
Yeah, I have always advocated on this program that we spend too much time in Europe and America when there's a South-South thing that's supposed to be happening that we need to analyze. We have the Caribbean, we have Asia, and we have Africa that we still don't tap into yet. And there's so much things happening in Asia, even the computer vibes. The Asian them take over the whole computer vibes. You know, in Africa, you know, we still don't tap into Africa. And the Caribbean, we don't form an alliance enough where we know that this alliance can support Africa, Asia, Caribbean. We still feel like if it's not American value system, it's not going to work. You know, and none of the intelligentsia has ever sat down to analyze what we was doing before we got caught in this European economy, our European tight grip. Why is it that we can't really structure something outside of their thing? Just like how the European market structure outside of other things. You feel so we won't survive?
I believe that once we unite, let me tell you something. We are important market. No matter what they produce, they've got to sell it.
Yes.
And a lot of them are our markets. No, we need to analyze what our strengths are, where our bargaining power is collectively, and work with that. Yeah. We need to understand that in this world now, it is a war of brain and a war of planning and a war of preparation. The trouble is that they're always more prepared than we are.
Yes.
They're always. Yes. And we're saying that we have sons and daughters right across the face of planet globe that we need to call to service, to help us to work out, to study, to analyze, to prepare, to be ahead of the game every time.
In preparation to this, what Antonette start make them move there towards this? I mean, because they can't wait till you reach this.
It's ironic. I did the Rodney, the Rodney lecture last year. And that is what I did. I did globalization, neoliberalism. Because it's not globalization is the problem, you know. Yes. The problem is the ideology driving globalization.
Yes, yes.
Right? And I did a study of this. This was so important to me that I took the time to to begin to try to understand this phenomena.
Yes.
And the first thing you have to do now is to develop the learning, you know, and then call upon those who have even greater learning, because it's their specialty.
Yes.
To work with us.
With us, yes.
And there's so many Jamaicans. You have Jamaicans work with the IMF, the World Bank, you name it, Jamaicans work with, all over the planet Earth. Yes. And most Jamaicans love this nation. And so, you know, I believe that what we need to begin to understand is that what is going to work for us in this world is preparation, erudition, learning.
Information.
When you go to a meeting, you must be absolutely informed about all things.
Yes.
From every possible angle. Begin to even analyze what argument this man going to come with, and that man going to come with, and that man going to come with. So we can hold and prepare ourselves for a world in which they pretend that they are trying to build equality, while what they're doing is increasing inequality, increasing poverty.
Yeah. All right, hold that, Mama, hold that. Here with you, on the cutting edge, talking to Antonette Haughton. Yes, and she was giving her views. Antonette.
Yes.
Conceiving a party, how you go about deciding who you want in the party?
Well, you invite all Jamaicans, who love this country, and who understand that issues of poverty must be a central concern of the whole community. Basically, that is where you get your core support from. And people who understand the power of God. That we really are not in charge, That really there's a powerful spirit of what is right and what is good in earth. And understand the importance of that. That man don't do everything, you know? And with these three elements, you begin to get the kind of person that you want. So and you want it inclusive. You're not building a clique. You're building something that's inclusive.
Yeah, so you don't do no background check like if the one is a criminal life you to work for the next
if you want to run for the party, yes. If you want to be a candidate, of course. We do background checks on our candidates if they want to go to electoral politics. Apart from that, you know, we just welcome all who want to make a difference to Jamaica.
In terms of the core of the party, how much members is in the core of the party?
Oh, there are a lot now, Muta. There are people who are members and there are people who are supporters. And it's really so large.
No, for instance, if you decide, say, you're going to run up on our election vibes now, like the core, how much you would have right now?
I would want to have all 60 representatives. Because I believe that you should make everybody get a chance to vote for the change. You know, if it's even one man in a one constituency who want to vote for the change.
And if you say you have enough, we can deal with that.
Well, that is what our work is now. Every day we get more people on board, good people.
So you plan to run in the next election?
Of course.
Oh, you plan to run in the next election?
Oh, yes.
So but you must have a set of people right now where you say, these are the people who will elect for that, like a, you know.
No, we're going to have our first, but what we have right now is an interim committee running the party.
Okay.
And at the end of January, we're going to have our first annual general, our first meeting, our first conference, in which we can actively have our members now choose the leadership, you know. But in the meanwhile, what you have is an interim arrangement to run the party until you have the first conference.
All right. I'm going to put this to you. You know, people say, well, a time a woman rule. But here one now. History show we say, woman never did really make no difference, even at tyranny. Well, some of the greatest tyrannical leaders was like women. And we say women coming apart. We say Margaret Thatcher. We say the woman from Dominica, they were have the anti-dread law. We see in India, you know, and all these places. We see all of these women come, and them still never show that woman, that feminineness that we are the search for in the political arena.
When people say women, what they mean is woman energy.
Yeah.
And I tell you, there are some men who have woman energy.
Yeah, we know, but I mean,
passion.
Yeah, but people, you know, for example, in Jamaica, people want to say a woman now, and that them I say. But it's to show you that the woman never did make no difference neither. So,
well, the thing is, it depends on the woman and how they penetrate what they mean by woman. I think that Margaret Thatcher was woman, but quite frankly, she never served the interests of either the poor, the weak. I think people are saying women because the nation needs healing.
Yes.
The nation needs loving.
Compassion.
And compassion.
Right.
And caring and healing. And because historically we have played that role.
Yes.
And I don't mean that all of us have played that role, people are calling for that. No. because you're a woman don't necessarily mean that you can do that. In fact, there are some men who would do it better because they have those things in their spirit, you know? So when people are calling for women, it's because this system has become so callous, so uncaring, so indifferent. Like what they're really saying in them spirit.
They want a feminine touch, not a woman.
Yes.
So you don't really believe, say, woman should have ruled then?
No, that is not, no. I think that is crudely putting. People are just crudely putting what they feel in their heart. And they are putting it simply in words or two syllables. But no, it's not just woman must rule. Because that don't really mean anything in of itself. What you're really talking about is a change in the quality of governance. And they are seeing that women, the right women, can bring that change in the quality of governance. The change that make you can stretch things that women do in households, the capacity to care for your children, to split the difference. I mean, women are judges every day now. Split the difference between warring children seems to be a part of what it takes to run a family. So I think these are the things that people are calling for. But people just put it in that way because of the absolute callousness, I think.
All right. Hold on. Yes. Garnet.
Yeah.
What you do?
Yeah, I know.
All right. Antonette, up on the next line.
Yeah.
I realize that you're a member of this party.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, man.
What kind of function you deal with inside the party? What is your function?
What is my function?
Yes.
Garnet is going to be a candidate. Let me speak for him.
Garnet going to be a candidate?
Yeah, Garnet is going to be a candidate for us, one of our candidates.
Okay, in the next election?
Yes, Garnet is a young man of great ideas and a young man that shows the tremendous possibilities of a human being.
Definitely. Garnet.
Well, I just want to... Madam President, good morning.
Good morning, Garnet.
Why are you up at this time?
Muta Baruka.
Who I've known from I was 15 years old.
Muta Baruka tell her to get up.
You got it.
Yes.
All right. I just backtrack a little to the globalization argument and the South argument.
Yeah.
There was a magazine by the name of South.
I have almost all the copies, you know.
Yeah, and that was put together by Michael Manley, you know. Yeah, he was one of the key persons behind that magazine. And he also, sometimes contributed a column in that magazine. And South was about exactly what you spoke about earlier, Muta. Yeah, that is the
Farm alliance with Africa and Asia instead of keep going to Europe and America.
Yeah, the same ACP, Central America and South America as well.
Yes.
And that was the whole concept of South.
Yes.
Now, the globalization thing now, I approach that from this angle. The first globalist was Marcus. Because that was what the Black Star Liner was about.
The first positive globalist.
Right, stick up in. Yeah. When you say globalist, because you say, to me, globalization means now you're going to get all nations involved, both economically, socially, politically, and otherwise, into one body. Without any sovereignty, specific sovereignty. But in that globalization, somebody must come out to be on top.
Yeah.
You still say that Marcus Garvey did that look for?
No, not in that sense. But look here, the Black Star Liner, was about carrying goods and people from wherever black people
to
was,
Africa,
to wherever black people was. Now you did have black people in England, Canada, America, France, Holland.
Yeah, but you never send it to England, you must send it to Africa.
No, but Muta, can I just say something?
Yeah.
Global means that you have a vision of the world. In other words, he was a Jamaican. But he never just saw the world as a Jamaican. He saw the world as an African. And he saw not just Africans in the English-speaking world. His newspaper was published in French and Spanish. In fact, do you know that the most chapters was in Cuba? Ironically, right.
Africa for Africans, those are two and those are
That's the point. And that is a global concept. No, globalization that is now configured, driven by neoliberalism.
Yes.
Is a different take on it.
So we have to know...
Pulling the world together to work in the interest of multinational corporations.
All right, so we have to redefine in this context now what is globalization to us.
Fundamentally.
Yes.
Fundamentally.
We have to define it then.
Redefine.
Because if you use that word to the people, they're going to feel that you're coming with the same one world order, new world order concept.
Brothers, maybe we can juxtapose it this way. Colonialism was globalization.
Yes.
But it was global colonialism.
Yes.
So too Garvey on the other end of the spectrum was global, but it was about global liberation.
Yes.
So it is not global is the problem. It's the ideology that drives global.
Yes. Well, we know that,
So therefore, what we are struggling with today is an ideology that is really neo-colonial.
Yes.
While what we really want is a globalization that is about liberating through cooperation and development. So the nations of the world, especially the poor nations of the world.
So what the group have in terms of ideology to come outside of that definition of globalization?
Well, quite frankly, Muta, you have to sit down now and deal with reality. In the sense that we live in a world where power is unevenly distributed and unfairly distributed. We have to sit down and treat with that reality.
Yes.
For me, how do you treat with that reality? We know that these men don't deal with moral suasion. They're not big on it. Although from time to time you can drive them up against the wall because it's whole business against terrorism, forcing some of them now to do things they wouldn't have done because they want to win the support of poorer nations of the world. And these are opportunities that we need to seize. That's one. Two, it means that these rules that these guys are trying to pass, one, we have to wield together as small nations to stand up against some of these rules that hurt us. It also means that the rules already passed, we must now sit down and see how we can use them to support our development and how we can treat with them to obviate, eliminate, or reduce the effect of that in it that diminishes us.
But and Madam President, you see, it come back again, you know, because that was kind of what the non-aligned movement was supposed to be, you know, right? And the whole concept of the South is just that we too focus on what's going on up the North, while we're not looking South and realizing that, hey, we the South together.
It's much larger than the North.
Precisely, you wouldn't even see the North.
Yes.
And we have the technology because recently Nigeria put out a computer, right?
Well, the Indian them is version
well, the Indians, and the irony of it, Muta, this tremendous learning by the Indians is now put at the service of the big multinational corporations in the world.
Yes.
Because they buy our people with just raw cash.
Yeah, during the Y2K thing, it's most of the Indian them get the work them say.
Of course.
They
write most of the software.
Now to bring the thing to a local context now, we have to teach the people about the people's market. You see, the other day I was talking with Flo O'Connor on KLAS, and I was telling her that part of our whole new education concept is not only to teach the youth about academics, but how you function in a globalized world. And a couple days later, I hear the same thing from high sources. You know?
Yes.
Well, you see, this is also a part of the whole education program. You have to teach the people now how we can put our little dollar, because same way now, how we as the Caribbean, Asia and Africa have to come together. We the people now inside our community, you know, have to learn to put our little dollar together. So instead of Mr. Fat Cat from St. Andrew come down East Street a morning time, come open up the bakery. down Alman Town or wherever, we have to start own the bakery. Right? Because the concept is, when we own the bakery, right? If 1,000 we live in our community, and each one we put up $1,000, where we would have did gamble where I do some foolishness with.
Yeah.
That is $1 million.
Yeah.
When we own the bakery and we go there, go buy the tutti frutti and the bread, and when we youth them have birthday, we go there, go buy the birthday cake. We lock ourselves into money, because it's we buy from we. When Fat Cat own the bakery, you give him the money, you get the nice sweet cake, and that's it, right? You get diabetes, right? When we own the bakery, you give the money, you get the tutti frutti, but my shares where me did buy for $1, it now gone up $20.
20, yeah.
And
right?
you begin to keep money in the community.
Good. Now when my son did born, we did the $1,000, is it me did take and buy 1,000 shares for him when him did born. So him come get big now, go to high school, whole heap of tutti frutti and sweet cake for him and all him girl and all them thing they know. Man turn 20 now and man have girl. Man come to me and say, Daddy, want money? Right? We said, go away, move from here.
Yeah.
Go away and come back again. Him want money. I say, hold on a minute there. And I walk me out a job at him, you see? And I take out a big brown envelope. And I give it to him. When him I go through the door, I say, boss, you can't remember me. You must remember me. Because over the 20 years, the $1,000 is now $1 million. Well, we have to teach the people this.
We have to learn multiplication.
Yeah.
All right, hold on, brethren, hold on. This is the Cutting Edge and IRFM coming through. All right. Say, we'll get some response from this conversation, but I just want, I just say some words to you, right? And you just tell me your views on them, because people want to know, right? Homosexuality.
Well, homosexuality, I must tell you that I believe that homosexuality is wrong, quite simply. I certainly would not support it in any way. Although the issue is whether we should allow policemen to have warrants to go into grown people's homes to drag them out and to carry them to jail, because in a way sending a homosexual to jail is like sending a drunkard to a brewery. So that is, for me, that is the only issue. The issue is, do you allow policemen to get warrants to go to people's homes, grown people's homes who are indulging in these activities, to lock them up?
Suppose, if you were the Prime Minister, would you allow, you see, right now, Jamaican people, them say homophobic. This big word, homophobic. And man, I say, boy, right now, we beat a batty boy, Rasta, batty man there for the road, and man say, in America, like we go to San Francisco, we see two men are hug up.
No, Muta.
Yeah.
The first thing we have to do is respect the culture of our people.
Yeah.
This is one of the things about globalization that makes me ill. This idea that you must enforce European and North American values upon a people whose spirit tells them that this conduct is wrong. So first of all, it does not belong in public places, ever, at all. Because it is not a sexual option for my child, and I don't want anybody saying that to my child. So homosexual conduct in public places is not on. First of all, because the majority are a democratic country, and the majority of Jamaicans do not want that. And those who are trying to impose foreign values upon us, we must draw a line and say, if you want to hug up and kiss up, go to San Francisco. Migrate. We are not stopping you from going to San Francisco or anywhere else you can kiss and carry on in public. What we are saying as Jamaicans, it is not culturally or morally acceptable to the majority of our people.
Ganja.
Well, I think the Commission has worked out what is a very good position on ganja.
The
Commission's position on ganja would be mine.
What is the position?
You must stop criminalizing young people for doing something that our ancestors have always done. But we live within a world, and we have no right exporting to people things that they don't want exported to them. So that I think the position is very clear. This locking up of young people for split.
All right. So would you be in favor of decriminalization or legalization?
Well, I don't know what you mean by legalization, because the legalization means that people can export it.
No, well, all right.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
What I certainly believe that we need to make it absolutely clear that it's not a crime to smoke a split or to grow to root a weed for your own consumption.
All right, but suppose a man grow for our consumption. Like, if suppose him have a field and him decides, boy, I want to sell some herbs and mobile.
Here's the problem with that.
And orchards and...
Here's the problem with that now.
Yeah.
You're not going to be able to control that from export. Period.
Yeah.
And so therefore, because you live in a world where they will penalize you in ways that will end up hurting your people in dangerous ways, you have to control this thing. And so strike a balance between the international reality and our need. And I think the answer has to be in one, saying, look here, ganja is something a man can do in a own state. And nobody have no right to get the warrant to come in and come fast with you.
Yes.
Right? It's as simple as that. But when you start to deal with trade, even internally, you are going to start to create problems for the country, and that is the difficulty of governance.
So if a man why use him to grow it himself then? That's what you're saying?
That is basically what the principle would be.
Okay.
I mean, otherwise, you're going to end up with people growing enough to export and begin to create the kind of angst. I mean, we saw what they did to this country in the 1970s. How they simply, I mean, internally and externally starved people.
Yeah.
I mean, they did everything to destroy our people. And we have to be careful that we don't put our people there.
Yeah,
and this is why you have to try to balance the thing.
Yeah, but what we are saying now, you see, with the draconian...
Look at it. Let me carry it to another level.
Yeah.
Supposing we decided we wanted to make cannabis here, which is the eye drop for glaucoma.
Yeah.
Then you can begin to have people actually growing it for the purposes of those factories.
Yeah, but we're not talking about now as a medical thing, you know. We're talking about like how man smoke cigarette. All right, what may I say, you see? All right. We understand the exportation of the thing that a man don't want it exported, but because you don't want it export, you wouldn't deal with it on a local level then, in terms of the growing? Not
in large amounts. If you begin to let people grow a large amount, they're going to send a signal to the world that might get us into the kind of situation that might hurt us in the long run. And this is my one concern.
You feel say if
you have to look at consequences
yes.
that are even more far-reaching. What you probably need to do is to look at Holland and what Holland manages to do.
Yeah.
And to say, well, look here, if Holland can do it, so can I.
They have coffee shop.
You understand what I'm saying to you?
Yes, yeah.
If Holland can do it, in other words, you have to look at what has been the breakthrough on this issue in other countries that has been accepted internationally.
Yes.
And you can't tell me that a European country can do it, but we can do it.
Okay.
So you understand my concern when I put it that way.
Yeah, yeah. All right, Garrison communities.
Oh, Lord. You know what I believe? I believe that if we get new governance, absolutely new governance out of what we have known, we begin to create the basis of opening up these communities. I want all of these communities to be communities that people can drive through. Because part of the problem to these communities is that they are shut down and locked off. So there's a whole spatial issue of opening up these communities. College Smith Drive, for example, needs to be opened right up that people can take College Smith Drive as an alternative.
But we drive through there every day.
I know.
We go to Coronation Market through there.
But the truth of the matter is, though, you don't have enough movement through there.
No, you know, wait the stick up in. That is not, wait there.
You know the road stop, Muta.
No, wait there, stick up in. Wait the stick up in. I want to tell you, say, the majority of time, you know, it's not the community going to trouble the people, it's the fear of the people and for the community, you know.
This is why you have to open it spatially.
Well,
physically, spatially, that people can see this is a place I can drive a shorter route from downtown to Halfway Tree.
But it's not the community, that's what I say, it's not the community that caused it.
College Drive was never finished. College Drive was never finished.
But I drive go down there every day for go to Coronation.
Yeah, but
I go downtown. It's the easiest road to reach downtown.
But that's not the point. The point is that people don't have a sense that this is an opened space in Jamaica. Places like Tivoli are cut off.
No, wait there.
You have one entrance.
No, Anton. I can't agree with you, Rasta. Look here. The people, them, afraid to drive through the community because of them perception of the community. It's not the community itself, you know, because...
No, I'm not blaming the community, you know, you're misunderstanding what I'm saying. This is not about blame at all.
No, I know.
I am saying simply, one of the things in my head is that all of these communities need to be open and visibly open, like a man can drive through Havendale.
All right, when you say open, what do you mean?
I mean spatially. Spatially, all of them. Main roads, better roads opened up that people can actually drive through these communities. But part of the problem, Muta, is that the tribalization of our country is part of what creates this perception. This side or that side. I believe that new governance can in fact begin to break the back of garrison. With new governance, people are going to feel free to dissent, to vote the way they want. Because I have a sense in these garrison communities, people don't feel safe to vote the way they want to vote.
So would you incorporate the Don or get rid of the Don business?
Well, one sec, Muta, one sec.
To me, it depends very much on what the Don does.
Yeah, as part of my special here.
You have people who are community leaders and people who are criminals who lead communities.
Yes, definitely.
And you need to draw the distinction.
Yes.
The narco criminals, many of who control many of these communities, they have to be dealt with.
Okay.
They corrupt everything they touch. Because that's the nature of their business. But they are community leaders who are not involved in that and who are genuine leaders of the community, and those must be incorporated.
Hello?
Yes, got it.
Yeah. No, well, you see, as part of my special area, I look at the same garrison, the inner city, and the economics of it is a part of is a fundamental part of the cure of it. This is why the same kind of economic organization that I spoke about earlier, people setting up them own business. This is what we have to get back into the community. Because when I was born in Jonestown, is the China them and what have you used to own the shop there.
But you never have so much criminal down there.
Yeah, but look here. Now the shops are not there anymore. And everybody have to head to town. And then you create a Igla problem. And
but you also have another problem. Because of the deprivation of these communities, you have all kinds of horrible things happening where people leave. Such as you know, you can't work here unless you pay me. You can't run a business here unless you give me money.
No, this is why you want
all a part of the deprivation that you speak of. No, sir. It is lack of economic development and opportunity.
And what you have to do is get back the economic development into the community by making these people own these things. When the community own the bakery, you know. When every man own the bakery, you know. When the war starts, the bakery become out of bounds, you know. Because it's every man feeding tree.
I can put something to you. You pass a corner, and when you look on the corner, you see the wickedest Benz park up. This is a ghetto, you know. This is a place where the house them look sideways and the building them look like them really ready for mash down. But people live in there, and the people them who in there, them brethren and them sister in them. When you look on the car outside, them have a Benz outside or a Lexus outside. When you see them walk come out of the house, it's the wickedest fashion them have from New York, right? And the wickedest gold chain and the wickedest ring. And you say it's poverty that?
No, but Muta, you and me know that's the minority of people in these communities.
No, we know it's the minority, but what we say...
Many of the people with these cars are people who have homes in Cherry Gardens as well, as you know. A certain gentleman who died. There's a big house in Cherry Gardens that he owns. But him hardly up in the Cherry Gardens. He's down there.
And you have youth...
and a lot of it is driven by narco trafficking.
All right. So we are saying... We know that. And we know that when the barrel come down, and the wicked Nike them in there, and the wicked Versace and all these things, plus 2 guns underneath it, right? When we know say them things that come down now, and we say, all right, now, this is a place where you say poverty there, you know, you want people control the community. But then, I wonder now, if it's really poverty causing the criminality, or is really something that drive the criminality, not the poverty?
All right. both are correct. One is, there is greed and there is need.
Yes.
The man who runs things is greed, but the little youth who them force out of school in Fort Farm because they sing a song what them not like.
Yeah.
Whose mother and father is unable to support him, is tempted into a kind of life because we do not offer any sufficient opportunities for anything else. And as I said, you know.
But if you have to offer him farming, Rasta, because Mars Joe.
It is organic farming, for example, where he earns good dollars. Can't tell you why I say that.
Yeah, but
not for them youth there. Go to the hills to go plant ganja.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, but it's the youth them that have Mars Joe too.
Because you do have no running water, you live in a hut, you do have no electricity, it's the roughest condition.
Yeah.
And yet they go there and they plant their weed because of the returns in terms of dollars.
Yeah.
And so, if you can put down organic farming that makes people earn money, because that's the bottom line, you know, honest money.
With the first class, you come down from foreign?
No, that is about values.
No, well, that may I say because we have to attack that.
This is why part of what we speak of is an educational system in which values are very important to teach to our children. Values.
Yeah.
And what we have, and Muta, when many go to school, we were taught, you know, labor for learning before you grow old. Remember those things?
Yes.
And books are keys to lands of pleasure, the heights that great men reach and kept. All of these things that MSC make us learn as memory gems were really about teaching us values. They have stopped teaching our children that. And so I believe that you need to go back to teach core values in the educational system. Right?
Yes.
And when you begin now to assault these values, because, you know, the youth, them also see them people they're dead, you know. Them see them have money, them see them live big, but them also see them dead and them also go them funeral.
Yes.
There's that side to it.
All right.
And
so, therefore, if you offer the majority, not everybody, clearly, there are always those in every community, but the majority of our young people would prefer to choose a living that can sustain them, that don't have the police that run up and down behind them most of the time. And if you can develop entrepreneurial skills, we can also show young people that there are honest ways of making good money.
Let me ask you a question.
Look here, Muta, before you go on. Look here. You know that in part of the education, as I say, you have to educate the youth about the market. You know that in Hong Kong, when school get lunchtime, 12 o'clock, them have a problem with the boys coming back after lunch. You know why? The youth, them gone down at the stock exchange, gone do day trading, you know. Right? And these are elementary school youth where them go there from them are 6 to them are 15. And them by long before 15, them understand the market so much that when 12 o'clock, them now come back because them gone down at the stock exchange. This
it is guiding our people's energies to make money in legitimate ways.
All right, wait there. It's less than a year. We're going to have an election. And Antonette said she have a party we're going to run in the election.
Muta, I can't hear you.
All right, in less than a year, we're going to have an election.
Yeah.
And Antonette said she's going to have a set of party to run in the election. All right. If Antonette would be the victor in this thing, we have a thing to deal with what we call garrison. Right? We know these things take time and process. But I want Antonette to give me a formula where how you see and say you're going to get rid of this idea of garrison in Jamaica.
Well, can I tell you the first thing?
Yeah.
If you have governance that manages to give out work, contracts, and opportunities to everybody regardless of their politics. Because right now, Jamaica has bought into the idea that PNP is in power, PNP get work. GLP is in power, GLP get work. So you have to hang on by your garrison.
But it's true.
Right, but that's the truth.
Yeah.
That's the point. You need to change that reality before you can change people's
By
perception.
doing what?
And therefore, honest governance. That after 4 years, people begin to see you really acting in an absolute fair way. And every man has a genuine chance.
Right.
And he gets a real sense in his heart that them really don't care whether they vote PNP, GLP, United People's Party, NDM. Them really don't care. Them don't care whether they vote or not. What they care about is whether I can do the job, whether when I do the job, X amount of people get employed, etc., etc. And once you begin to demonstrate through how you do business as a government, that you put Jamaica first, that what matters to you is that we get the job done justly, fairly, honestly, and that every man have a real chance to get some of whatever this state has in terms of opportunity, jobs, contracts, or whatever. You will begin to change people's perception of governance. But you can only change people's perception of governance through demonstrating that it's serious. And then people say, my God, my gosh. I mean, it's true. I went there and I asked for a loan. I never asked them to vote for me. I never have to get a letter from my MP. They gave it to me because they saw that I had a need for it. I had the capacity to deal with it. And I think that is the first step to breaking the back of Gary. To make people know that how you vote does not determine what kind of opportunities you are presenting.
I hear Jerry Small say citizenship, not membership.
Precisely.
All right.
Right.
Renita Adams. We still ask one word question there. Renita Adams.
Let me tell you what the center of what needs.
Mr. Siaga say Renita Adams look like him want to go a psychiatrist. He need to go see a doctor. Because him behave in such a way that it leaves much to be desired. Or Antonette say Renita
Well, let me
Adams.
put it this way to you.
Yes.
I deal with this as an institutional problem.
Yes.
What Jamaica needs is an independent investigative body to investigate police abuse.
Them just set up one and it now work.
No.
Yeah.
That is not an investigative body. Let me tell you what that is.
All right, yeah.
Every time
Commission
a
them
gets
set up.
shot by the police,
Yeah.
police officers do not go there. They do not belong there. Who goes there is this team of highly trained detectives, not bureaucrats who take your report. Detectives who go to the scene, analyze it, and make an appropriate ruling. So you begin to create an independent accountability in the police force. They also deal with complaints against the police. And what you need are trained people, detectives, highly trained, know to use the technology, who know how to have their own pathologies, you know, and whose job it is to give justice to Jamaican people.
So which part you get them
And
people?
police too. We are going to get, let me tell you, one of the things we want to do now, we want to endow a faculty of law enforcement and criminology at the University of Technology to create a highly educated detective in terms of him understanding society, the whole psychology of human beings, and fight crime through powerful brain power and technology.
You feel
Right now, we have Jamaicans studying at the John Jay College of Criminal Justice in the United States, you know. A Jamaican is a provost there. I went and spoke to some of these young people. We have a core that we can actually begin to build, where you draw these people to come and do that work.
You feel say we should have stopped the army and just link form a coalition with the police force?
Well,
because we may need more police out there right now.
Yes. No, I think you need more police patrols on the streets of Jamaica to stop opportunistic crimes. You need more patrols in terms of cars, more patrols in terms of foot, because the visibility of the police controls crime in and of itself. If you manage to have a police force that's doing its job. No.
So you don't feel the army.
I have not even decided on. In fact, I wanted to talk to Tony Harriet in particular about this, as to whether what you really need to do is to incorporate the police force and the army. But
can we not feel the two bag of
No, well, I think we could look at a national guard. Some man where build bridge and otherwise during the time where nothing not going on. Like, you know, they do other things as well.
That.
Yeah, but when
soldiering is different from policing, you know. I think people understand.
Yeah, but you see here what now? The police seem not to understand how to deal with the people, and to how I see it, I feel that people feel the soldier deal with people better, but the soldier don't have the capability.
They are not peace officers.
Yeah, to deal with it. So I don't know if there's a way where them can just abolish one of them and just deal with one.
No, what I think though, you know, Muta,
and get the training proper.
is the training
that
goes into the people, and sometimes the quality of education of many of the people who are in these institutions.
Yeah.
And also the fact that we are a class society. And what you see spilling out on the streets is self-contempt.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, when you see black police officers treat their own people in inhuman ways, what you're seeing expressed is a self-hate and self-contempt, which is a direct product of our history. So also, the whole business of self-esteem and history and who we are has to be part of what you train peace officers.
All right. You see?
So the levels of training of peace officers in Jamaica is no longer appropriate for the modern world.
All right. You see, we know the police force was started after the Morant Bay Rebellion to really suppress other uprising like the Morant Bay Rebellion.
The middle peasantry.
Yeah, given that history of the police force, you feel you can develop a police force that is in the other people from this police force?
No, well, I believe, as I've said, we need to set up a faculty of law enforcement and criminology. You see, there are police and police. There's a traffic police officer, and there's a foot and beat. But you need a highly trained detective force that drives the enforcement of law. And this is a young person who leaves high school, maybe with his CXCs and his A-levels, who joins up and then goes to the faculty of law enforcement and criminology. And over a 6-year period gets a degree. And he is trained in all of the things that people at university are trained in. One, our history, our culture, how you relate to people, the psychology, as well as the elements of law enforcement. And so you begin to create a people-friendly police force. Because through training. And what you're going to do to create this detective force is to go with what you have and see who are there now, who will work. Right?
And some people will have to move
and then
up,
begin to
up
hold.
or out.
Yeah. All right. All right. A youth on the road, a 17-year-old youth, 16-year-old, you know, say no have no license. Him have a M16 going to walk on the road, and a police see him on the road with the M16, right? You think that the police should have figure in their head, say, boy, right? With that M16 now, have a certain power in him, you know, because we hear them attack.
Well, I think it depends on the attitude of the young person. The young person is menacing. The police with the gun and threatening his life, and the police has no choice.
But you hear the policeman argue. The policeman argue that from him have the M16 gun, him a threaten life. Because it's not legal.
No.
And that 17-year-old, you go mad with that M16 gun.
Well, the police cannot make up the law as he goes along.
No, me know, but what I say, on the road out there, you know, it's like a 16-year-old youth with an M16 rifle. He must up to criminality.
Of course, that's why you're going to lock him up and carry him in. You can't be slaughtering our people on the streets. It's unlawful.
There's an act still, you know, there's some question.
I mean, no, but it's unlawful, boss, man.
Yes,
People don't manage to with the gun because, listen to me, man. God Almighty, tell us that any single human being who decides to change the way we live can do so. Who are we as human beings? When God forgive we so much time for our trespasses to decide to play God over the lives of others.
So you would agree with America if you attack Saddam then? Because Saddam have biological, chemical warfare and weapon. You wouldn't agree with it then? Because you don't use it.
My thing is, my brother, if you have a problem, we have to learn to talk. This world has been driven by violent impulses for too long, and it has not worked. My view is that if you have a problem, you talk. And you continue to talk. I am a firm believer that most human beings basically want the same thing. And after all that nonsense with Saddam, he still sits down there with what he has.
No,
so
I mean, I won't know. Yeah. What the people them say, hear them say, if Bill Clinton did move against Ben Laden from the time when they suspect him blowing up the thing in Tanzania and Kenya, him wouldn't get for do when do ya so now 9/11. So well, him I wonder now, say, well, right now, if we must wait for Saddam to use him things, I just go after him right now.
Well,
it's the same thing, the policeman on the road. I find now, say, well, must we wait till the man commit a crime with a gun?
What we as a people have to do, you know, is to find out the causes. You see, it is like fighting something asymptomatically. You cannot fight symptoms. To solve a problem, you have to deal with the root cause.
Definitely.
Up until now, I don't know if Mr. Bin Laden do not.
No, we don't know.
We don't even know that.
No,
but they
know.
repeated it so long that many of us
start to believe it
without a shred of evidence.
Yeah, we start to believe it.
And this is what is so dangerous about this approach.
Yes.
Because it puts in their hand, you make men act as if they are God. It is wrong. Do you understand me? It is wrong. And unless they deal with the root causes that drive this kind of conduct,
them still going to have it.
You are not going to make it go away.
All right. Capital punishment.
If I sit down and look up in myself and say, what is it that makes young black men
do that?
Take their own lives into their own hands, and they are not mad.
Yes.
Because that's what you do. You pick up an M60, you take your own life in your own hands.
Yeah.
So you need to ask yourself what drives that and begin to try to fix what drives that.
Once
you begin to fix that, then you can hold those who still love to do it even more accountable.
Yes.
You know, and you need to use law enforcement, man. We have jails, we have courthouses. That's why they are there, because there's a presumption of innocence.
All right, capital punishment.
I don't support it, you know, Muta, but the majority of Jamaican people do.
All right.
And since the majority of Jamaican people do, I have to go with what the majority of Jamaican people want. I can't get up and say you vote for me, and therefore it's my personal feeling that we must run with. My job is to try to convince you to change your mind.
All right, so convince them why capital punishment shouldn't be another process of law, of government process.
Can I tell you why? Because it does not allow errors.
Okay.
When you
from the man dead him down there, you can't go back and say, boy, right, you make a mistake.
Thank you. When you kill people, you're saying, I do not make errors in my judicial system. And we know that is absolutely incorrect. So, when you have the final solution and play God and take people's lives, you see, you can never fix an error that you made. That is the first most driving issue. Apart from what I believe, which is that the Father tell we that He will forgive us our trespasses. And so, every man have a chance, needs to have a chance.
That means a man cannot go trespass by your land and you forgive him then. Pick your mango and
well, you know what the Bible
take your goat and curry it.
Can I tell you what the Bible says?
Read the last day. Yeah.
You know what the Bible says?
Yeah.
The Bible said, if you read Deuteronomy, every man who has a vineyard must leave food on the edges of his vineyard for the poor. Did you know that?
Some of them vineyard in the poor now pass there, you know. Pure thief. Pure pre the last day. Some of them pre the last is not poor where them are thief, you know.
No, we're not talking about
just red eye.
No, we're not talking about the business. And you pass and pick 2 mango.
Yeah.
It's a different thing from a man drive up a van in your place and take your 6 cow.
Or you go at them.
No, that man
curry them. Keep dads.
As distinct from a youth who pick a mango. I'm hungry.
Yeah.
And we must learn to draw these distinctions.
Yes.
Between a man, I mean, Muta, when we are young people, we grow up a country, you know.
Yeah.
And the country me grow.
Yeah.
And we go cut tartar cane.
Yeah.
1 root of tartar cane.
Yeah.
He started to say, him call the district constable. We must have been about 6 or 7. Carry the living daylights out of us.
So suppose a man grow cat, if he said to us, they want the cat up on the side of the road and say, everybody wrong, can just get it?
No.
It's fruit, you just deal with fruit.
If you own property, such as cattle, it's your job to keep other people's property safe. You know the standard war between the Gikuyu and the Mastai?
Yeah.
I mean, it's an old thing, you know.
Yeah.
The Mastai drought comes, the Mastai drives its cattle into the Gikuyu farms. And always led to all kinds of wars. In Kenya. And it's the same kind of contradiction that exists between the farmer and the cattle holder.
Yeah.
And we have good cattle trespass laws. We just need to create better pounds. We need to assist people to fence their land to keep their cattle.
I guess we are really trying to say to you, right? It's like a man have him cattle on a piece of land. And a man come now and see it, boy, him say, boy, come at night and thief. And a man sight man shot him dead. Or you see that?
You mean somebody kills him because he was trying to kill
to thief him goat.
To thief him goat.
Yeah, he might try to thief him goat, him just fall and match it and chop off him neck and fire shot him or window and kill him.
You know that a lot of these things happen because our people are ignorant and do not and our court processes tend to be slow. And this is why people take the law in their own hands.
So you see, say the law, the man are taking him and if him shot him.
It depends. If you feel threatened by an intruder, then you need to do what is necessary to protect yourself.
No, you're not talking about the man protecting himself. You're talking about the man protecting his property.
That's all right.
Yeah.
You understand me? It's a question of how safe you feel. A man coming into your yard for an hour and a half, you immediately unsafe and you're liable to injure him. And he must take what I'm getting because I know so when you come into people's house at those hours of the night or into people's property, then you put them and their families in fear and they will act to protect themselves. So yeah, you know, that can be reasonable. But there's sometimes it's just plain wickedness.
Oh, so like if a man take your mango off of your tree, you know, that is not as wicked as a man keeping your goat then. Well, that you say. Yeah, like you have limits of criminality.
Yeah, in other words.
Like pre-the of 1 dozen Julie mango, it's not as great as keeping 2 goat.
Well, you see, when it is that you make a business out of stealing, that's the difference, you know.
No, but you're not going to know if the man do a business or not. You don't see the man a thief your mango then.
No. But you know, because you know that this man a pick 2 mango for eat.
You don't know.
And you know the difference because of how much him take.
Him take a dozen mango, and we have 10 friends on the corner.
But if you go into people's place and take a dozen mango, then you go to jail.
But that may I say no, suppose the man look through the window and shoot you.
But you are greedy. No, I'm supposed to look through the window and shoot you. No.
Why?
Gosh, no man.
Why? No, me I ask you why.
You do not use a hammer to kill an ant.
Why not?
Because it is going to hurt other people.
No, but suppose you don't want to touch up your hand.
The fact of the matter, though, is that human life is sacrosanct. And human beings have a responsibility to as much as it is possible to protect human life.
Yeah.
Whole people are responsible to protect human life. And it's always a judgment call, Muta. It's always a judgment call.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying to you?
But if him thief the goat, it appear to me like you say, if him thief 2 goat off of the thing and you see him to you and you shot him, maybe you're more justified than if him thief a dozen mango.
No. You remember what I was talking about, Muta?
Yeah.
Do you feel unsafe? Maybe you live in a house and you go tired of the house. Maybe you feel unsafe that he's going to come in there in a danger. You see, it's also the ambience. Because of the levels of gun and gun crime in Jamaica, people are terrified, even by ordinary people who are not armed. Because it's at night and you don't see them properly.
Yes.
So the impulse to protect yourself becomes even more driven because you know the levels of guns. If Jamaica never had as many guns, people will be less inclined to behave that way. Because it's about people being afraid. So I'm saying that you act when you genuinely feel afraid and you feel that your family is at risk. That is the issue. The issue is not how much you take. The issue is whether you feel your family is at risk and you feel that your family might be hurt by this intruder. Apart from that, you really need to call the police and let the law take its course. You don't just kill people like that. We are not ants or flies.
No, we know. All right. We hear about the drugs, the drug trade and the Colombian connection and police connection and all of these connections. It seems to me that the guns and drugs go together in Jamaica.
Yeah.
Right? And we say most of the drugs that leave Jamaica, that go to England, is women carry. This is a known fact that most of the Jamaicans them in prison in England is really female. Right? Now, there's a 2 question. We really want to know if Antonette is a feminist or if Antonette is a feminist. The relationship between how Antonette would relate our womanness to this woman problem. Because it's a woman that mostly do it.
All right. A lot of women are groomed to do this kind of craziness through desperation. And some through greed. The sisters who are driven to this kind of actual desperation, really, it's about the economics, and it's about opportunity, and it's about creating a capacity for them to earn a living that is not tied up with crime. And I think that you need serious rehabilitation, and you need serious re-education of many of our sisters in that regard. Now, you'll always have the greedy sister who want to wear Versace and all those kinds of things, and boy, you can't do for that daughter there, you know. But I think a lot of these women are women who have children who want to go doctor and can't find the money. Women who have children who go to school and then can't find the money. Just people driven by a burning need. And it is because this economy has not created sufficient opportunities for all women. You know?
Yeah.
And I think you have to sort of disaggregate the two different for them. Because them come from two different spaces.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah, the feminism.
I am afraid of the word feminist, you know.
Tell me why.
Ever since you know, our friend Sandra Coppin.
Yeah. Yeah, we remember
when
Sandra.
She went to the first International Women's Conference.
Yes, we remember Sandra.
Sandra came back and said, Antonette, I was so shocked. Because you got some Australian women and said, I am a lesbian feminist. There's from that now? Is it a word there?
Yes.
I am very careful.
Yes.
When people ask me what I believe in, I'm very specific about what I believe in.
Yes.
Because you see, these labels carry all kinds of
so
baggage.
Feminism is a label to you then?
All kinds of baggage that you don't agree with. So I don't love the label because in Australia it might mean some lesbian woman. And it might mean some anti-man and some people who believe that women live together and raise children.
I just feel
and that's not what I'm about. If you know what I'm saying, I am about giving women the opportunity to build the country equally with men.
Yes. Is Antonette a Christian?
I believe in God. Yeah.
Yeah, but only if I would believe in a God, I don't know Christian. Because only if I would believe in a God, I would know Christian. So we ask if Antonette is a label and say,
I would say, I hate labels, but I would say yes.
You're a Christian?
Yeah, because my understanding of religion is that religion, God, there's one God. Different cultures.
No, we're not talking about God, we're talking about Christian.
No, maybe that's what I understand. There's one God, in my humble view. And different cultures and people see him through different eyes and different experiences.
Yes.
Our experiences here have been about the teachings of Christ.
Jesus Christ. Yeah.
Christ, the teachings of Christ are truly amazing teachings about love, forgiveness, respect, love of the poor, your duty to serve, to be humble, and it's a fabulous set of teachings.
Yes.
So yes.
You are driven by Christian principles.
Yeah.
Okay.
What Christ taught.
Yes.
Because what Christ taught, I mean, you know, I've read it and it just blows you away.
Okay.
The compassion, the love, the forgiveness, that God is always prepared to forgive you as long as you humble yourself. And you know, these are powerful teachings, yes.
You know, the burning thing is that, why is it that most ones, anytime they are not in the political system, we love them so? But when they start to really become political.
And I'm hearing this so clearly, Muta.
Why is it that anytime a one is not in the political system and we hear them talk, we love them so much and we love them philosophy so much? But when them get into the politics, it's like a transformation, like a vampire thing. It's like you can't come out in the day. You know?
I don't think it's totally true though, Muta.
But most people don't vote. Most people don't vote. Most people don't vote. So there must be something wrong with the political system.
Oh, there is something wrong with the political system. The tribal nature of the political system. As I said to a young man, we can disagree without destruction.
Yeah.
7 brothers, 7 different minds. But at the end of the day, you love your brother.
Yeah.
So we have to respect difference. But right now we've become so tribal. Yeah. But you know, I want to remind you, under Michael Manley, up to 80% of the people voted. 80% of the people voted.
Yeah.
Because it was a politics that understood the needs of the poor. And therefore the poor bought into it.
Yeah.
And so I don't think all of it is like that.
And then 10 years' time, them give him up.
Of course. Yeah. Because they literally drove him out because of a whole set of international forces, including the Cold War being right here in Jamaica.
Yeah.
And, but the fact of the matter is that people can buy into it, and not all politicians, I think, are necessarily negative.
So in your
the system of how it has developed now has run out of possibilities.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right, looking upon the politicians now, who in your mind you would have said, well, that brethren there, or that sister there is really...
Well, I like to look at it historically. I think Norman Manley.
Yeah, well, not them people that dead, we are talking about no.
No?
Yeah, no. When you look upon the old system now, since you say, if you claim that politics is not definitely corrupt.
It's not politics being corrupt. No.
Politicians.
Not everybody in the political arena is corrupt.
Yeah, are weird.
But the system.
Yeah, it's corrupt.
Yeah.
All right, so may I ask Antonette now, as contemporary of these people now, who in your frame of mind, see like how you can't talk, if you can't talk nothing bad about somebody, you must can talk something good about somebody. So, in a year light now, who you would have said now why you see that person in a politics, they love how that brother they go on. I see that woman there, they love how that woman they go on.
Alright. I humbly believe you see that backbenchers in Jamaica get a very dirty deal in the sense that they don't even have a vote to spend in their own constituencies. They have to always be walking up and down behind the executive. But there are some young people, I think, in the politics who want to serve. I mean, I can think of Fitz Jackson, for example.
Okay.
Over by Helshaw. I mean, my experience with him, he's a good brother.
Okay.
He's a brother who really wants to serve. I think the system doesn't help him to serve the way he wants to serve.
But
that is just one version we can.
Which party him belong to? Which party him belong to?
I think he's right now he's a PNP.
Okay.
You know, I don't know, but somebody like Cliff Stone from the JLP.
Who?
Cliff Stone.
Cliff Stone.
You don't even know him name?
No, I don't know them people either. They tell the truth. I am not up to date.
A man up there in Clarendon who doesn't, you don't really hear him. Him don't get into the casket or any of that stuff. I just have a feeling, and I'm not close enough, but just looking from far, him look to me like a man would want to do stuff.
Yeah, but I tell you something about that. It's when I got school, they did have book where you say, civics book where said, minister of that, minister. And now you reach a fourth farm, the minister is still the same person. You see nowadays, the minister change every week. You see, you can't teach your children that the minister of roads is that person. Because 6 months' time, you come here and say, it's not that minister, it's the minister of that. See? So we know it a different way. So when we ask you this, it doesn't say, all right, you have certain people right now, that is your contemporary, that they are not all bad and wicked as people perceive them to be.
But you know what I think? I think the system hamstrings their capacity to serve.
And you don't feel it can happen to you?
That is why we have formed a separate party. That we are not caught up with a ugly tribal history of being supported by X or supported by Y, and therefore we have to give them back this and give them back that.
Yes.
So you can actually come precisely because you come with clean hands to the system and new hands to the system. You can begin to hone something different. It's the same way I tell you when break carrots in politics by literally running the state system justly and beginning to reform it. For example, I believe that we should have a modern streamlined bureaucracy online.
Yes.
And what that means? It means that when I put in an application for subdivision approval, I can literally follow it through all the processes. Online, see it as it moves from this department to the other department.
Yes.
And you begin to create transparency by using modern technology. And you begin to hold people accountable, because I think accountability is at the center of what's necessary in Jamaica.
You feel that there's too much ministries?
I'm not even sure. I'm not even sure about how many, whether there are too many ministries. The question is how efficient they are. For me. The question is how service-driven they are. Do they really serve us? You know? Because I don't think Jamaicans are concerned whether there are too many ministries, that if they believe
that's why I know that
ministries are serving them.
Yes.
Follow me?
Yes.
And I think that's really core of the thing. You know, they don't care whether there are 6 ministers or 10, as long as they have a sense in which, first of all, it's accountable and it responds. We don't want to have a black road. It has the capacity to respond, and it serves you. For me, those are the issues rather than the number.
All right. In Jamaica, Rasta there from years now as a certain thing, and nobody has been, people listen, but we are not really seen as any serious philosopher then. People like what we are saying, but then, them just say, oh, yeah, Rasta. I remember when me and you at school, right? Communism was like the thing for a whole heap of people at university. And then let's say Rastas, escapists, this and rest of that. Now we see Rasta come as a cultural force. We see them put iconic guys, Bob Marley and all these things. But Rasta's still there, Rasta, people say, well, Rasta is not as strong as first time. Rasta is not offering any political solution to the situation. Oh, you see Rasta in a Jamaican society?
Rasta carries a powerful ideology of nationalism, self-respect, self-esteem, being responsible for the children you bring into this world.
You mean like Michael Manley?
Eh?
Like Michael Manley?
How you mean, like that?
No, to you say, all the things what you say is when me hear people say about Michael Manley. I mean, no, Michael Manley was a Rasta. So
but you do know that Michael